All right,
Aye,
everyone.
that's lovely.
Welcome
Finally.
VIVOtek. That's
Yeah.
the way that we pronounce it here, where we talk about crap
I've never pronounced it VIVOtek.
and even more crap. We just talk crap. I'm just kidding.
We do. No, we don't. And smack and crap and smack and crap and
Let's
smack and crap and
Can
smack
we have
and
an
crap
audio
and smack
check? Is the audio working?
Check,
Yes,
check,
it is.
check.
Is the video working? I'd say it is. Now I fricked up my Streamlabs things, so I better move that back. That looks decent, doesn't it? Welcome everyone. It looks like we have actually amassed some sort of viewers, which I'm surprised because of all the technological difficulties.
We lost power yesterday, so as an experiment, we plugged in our new router to
a sine wave inverter. Big difference, and I'll explain that just in a second. But we plugged it into the inverter, and we plugged it into one of those battery packs, those 50,000 milliamp hour. Because the key thing with that is that it has an adapter which can go to a cigarette lighter for your car, and then the inverter plugs into the lighter, and boom, you got yourself power.
Then all you have to do is plug a regular household outlet into.
Hey, thank you for the real life amazing currency, Joel. That's awesome. Hope you're staying safe, Mr. MindTech. I hope everyone else is doing well during these hard times. Well, thank you.
Yuck. I hate that we have to wish. I wish that, I don't know, I just wish that there'd be peace in my time.
Here, I think, okay, I don't think I want to talk about the stuff that's going on.
I don't know either.
All I know is that racism is terrible. It shouldn't exist in a modern time, honestly. And I think that we need to work towards, I guess, becoming more enlightened towards that as a society. I thought that we were a lot more enlightened, honestly.
I did too. I thought that we were more enlightened 25 years ago.
Yes.
Maybe I'm blind to that. I don't know, but I felt like we had less brutality and tension and all of that stuff. Anyway, so we plugged our router into this inverter, and when our power came back on.
Oh, okay. Well, let me explain. Okay, so Odron is like, I don't understand. So, okay, our power went out completely black because there was a storm. So what we had to do, we still wanted to use internet, and this is a life hack that a lot of people I think don't know. But
maybe not.
When your power goes off, that doesn't mean that your internet signal goes off. So really, the infrastructure for the internet is still completely online. So if you can power your router and your modem, the two things that give you internet and give you Wi-Fi, you'll have internet, and that's exactly what happened. So we used a battery pack, kind of like the same things that you use to power up your phone or whatever.
Your phone runs out and you got it in your backpack and you want to plug it in.
And we used an inverter, which converted the DC power that's stored in the battery to an AC signal that your regular electronics use, just like you're plugging it into the wall. We were basically, instead of getting power from the wall, we are getting power from a battery, basically. I'm a big brain. My dad has a PSU. I think I know what you're talking about, actually. I think I get you. Let's see, hold on 1 second. I'm wearing my Barnacle shirt also. Windows 10, we're watching, send all my private information to Microsoft. Had a big debacle trying to get it actually for converts minion.
We did, but it finally arrived.
Yep, it's a nice shirt actually.
Yeah, it's getting a little small.
I know. Gotta order a new one, I guess.
Anyway, so when we unplugged it, what happened? You just don't want to finish the story for some reason. You're like a sim that goes, nah, I don't want to do that.
I don't think that the router's broken. That's the thing.
But after we unplugged it,
it's not broadcasting any SSID. It's not connecting up with the other device. Something might have fried in there. I don't know. Maybe. Because it was working perfectly fine on the inverter. Everything was great.
No, it wasn't working perfectly.
No,
well, yeah, it was working on the inverter, but it wasn't. I mean, for like a couple of weeks, I would just suddenly, I'd be in the middle of a meeting for school and I would lose it. It would kick me out of the meeting. I'd have to wait 30 seconds and then it'd put me back in the meeting. Wait a minute and put me back in the meeting, which was like the most painful 30 seconds ever because I've got one of those bosses that is not too happy about things like that.
Yep.
So I don't think it was working beautifully, but now it's not working at all. So now what is your biggest frustration?
That we have to switch back to the old router, which is complete crap. It's just the worst abomination you could ever conceive.
What makes it that horrible?
I don't know. We got it refurbished, maybe. It's a frickin' Linksys, like the worst gutter trash company ever. I'm really locking myself out of sponsorships now, aren't I? You fried your router. I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean, there was no reason for it to, because it's not like when the power came back on, there was a surge of power. It was all very, and because it's a
no, it wasn't even plugged into the
it's not
wall.
even plugged into the wall. We didn't, and when the power went out, it's not like it fried it either. I don't know what happened to it.
I think that what's happening is it's having troubles. I think it might actually be a firmware thing or something. I don't know. Like, I'm perplexed. That's why I really...
You're gonna have to look at it.
I've wanted to build a router. Build something that doesn't have crap firmware, that isn't dummied down for the general populace. I've wanted to do this solution for a while, but my dad's like, no, it's gonna be a virus. It's gonna be a vulnerability, even though it's more secure than, the crappy routers that you buy. But then again, it wouldn't be Wi-Fi 6, and I really like Wi-Fi 6, so I don't know. Wi-Fi also is a terrible technology, and I hate how people... I'm getting really ranty, I'm sorry. I need to stop being ranty.
Go on, you hate how people what?
I dislike that people always think the internet is Wi-Fi. Like, Wi-Fi is not equal to internet. It's a way that you can access your internet, but it's not equal. And when people call their cellular data Wi-Fi, no, it's using literally a completely different chip. It's a completely different broadcast that you have to have an antenna. Well, I guess you need to have an antenna for Wi-Fi also, but it's a completely different technology, and people are just really ignorant in that field. Maybe a fuse maybe a fuse on the inside went out, because when an electronic sees a spike in energy voltage, it's too high, it'll blow the fuse. Maybe, but I know that it is getting power, so maybe it was some sort of fuse to do with the transmission or something. I don't know. I'm still a bit confused. But anyways, let's talk about the big thing that I have down there.
What's
politics.
The big thing? Oh,
Yay.
Politics.
Because okay, you might think that I'm gonna be like, frickin' Boris Johnson and frickin' Floyd Merriweather. I don't know, politicians in the UK.
Politicians in the UK, huh? No, we're not talking politics. We're talking politics.
Yeah, we're talking about...
What's your politics?
Yeah, something like that. Because...
What's your ideology?
Okay, I have to explain. So, in my high school, I'm like, you know, rankings. I don't know if you do rankings in UK schools or not, but I'm number one. That's the gist of it.
Odoron isn't UK, is he?
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Odoron, are you UK?
But basically, I have this rank, and I want to maintain it. And there's this dual enrollment program with the local university that we can take part in. You don't have to, though. But there are two classes, economics and politics, that is offered at the school. But a lot of these people, especially ranked highly, are taking that class at the local university. So basically, if I want to maintain that rank, because the class at the high school is weighted at 1.05%. Whenever they calculate your GPA, they multiply it by that rank, and that gives you your final score. So if I take it at the high school, I'm automatically going to get a lower score than you will at the college, because the dual enrollment classes are weighted at 1.10. So all those scores that I get at the university, they're automatically going to be higher. Even if I do worse in the class, I'm locked in. I'm going to do better, basically.
This is my fear. You said we have to take economics, and then you said politics. I thought you had to take economics and government.
No, economics and government and... No. Politics and government and economics. Those are the two classes.
Politics and government. and economics.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're calling it
So-
politics because that's what we talked about, but really it's a U.S. government class, specifically about kind of how the government works and such. We don't do government or economics.
I'm not really sure why it's something that has to happen. I know that we used to have like a civics class.
I think that that's basically what it is. It's an extension of social studies. So if I want to, for the state of Texas, I have to get these certain credits. And I don't think that the social studies classes that they offer, the world history, geography, and U.S. history, I don't think those are enough credits to graduate. So that's why you have to do these two classes.
Well,
your
there's
senior
three
year.
levels that you can graduate at, and this will, I guess, embark you on another. And there's like so many. I don't know how the state of Texas decided to do this, but they decided this about 4 years ago. And they're like, you have to specialize in one of 4 stems and have to take courses within that stem to graduate at a
I think they did all those
level
calculations on
beyond
one of these.
distinguished or something. I
It's
don't know.
Texas Instruments, get it? You can see it. It's a TI calculator. It's confusing though. Let's see. I've got a good idea. We'll share that idea with us, Joe.
No, he said he has a good. Oh, I don't know.
Let's
Share
see.
that idea.
And I think that I didn't read a message earlier. He said, so when the power goes out, it automatically shuts up. Oh wait, not shuts up.
Starts up the
starts
power.
up the power, and it works so well you wouldn't know the power went out.
Wait.
Yeah, that's like a
You
backup.
fried your router. Huh? Did it short out? Wait. Maybe a fuse on the inside went out because electronics uses
Maybe we could crack it open.
It'll blow the fuse.
But my dad has this idea that we're gonna.
Stupid. We do grades. That's it. Grades. I wish that we just did like business studies. I think that that would be better than economics because economics goes into a very lengthy and
Well, I don't know what economics
if you
is
ask
gonna be
me,
about.
incredibly boring.
Man.
Supply and demand and a formula and then
Yeah, I'll
I
probably
don't
be
know.
okay with it. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
you probably will be lovely with
And
it.
I have a professor that comes from an area near you, Ireland. Because I know this because he has these recorded lectures since it's online. That he had this very European accent, and I was like, that's interesting.
It was an interesting accent. And then he said
Something about Switzerland. Then he was like, something
well,
Ireland.
Yeah, he started
from
in
where I'm
and then he
from.
went Ireland.
Ireland.
And then no, but what was the word he said? Oh, it has a process. I went. He said process.
Yeah.
We don't say process
In America.
in America. That's not an
There's
American
a
thing to be.
process and a route for everything.
There's a process. A process.
I might
And a
message local
router.
businesses to see if they want their web pages to be updated because I've seen a lot of the websites in the local area. Yeah, me
That
too.
is a
Like
bueno
our
idea.
websites are terrible. Also,
It is a bueno
like
idea.
they're terrible.
Yeah.
But you know what I want to do a story like this is an idea for you to consume.
Okay.
Because you have to consume ideas, I guess. I think that what would be great is if we did some, or if you did something. Sorry, it's because I'm the co-owner. Okay, like
Okay.
you've literally made me like the co-administrator or something. But I think that it'd be great if user pages would be completely customizable. Because if you look back into like 2012, the YouTube channels, you could change everything about it. You could change the background, the color scheme, and it was really personal. It wasn't just the videos that were personal, it was also the page that you went to.
Oh.
And it was really cool.
Huh.
And they took that away to standardize it. But we don't need no standardization in the storyline, do we? Do we?
I don't know.
I'm just rambling now, aren't I?
So tell me about this politics class that you took.
Well, why don't you tell me? I'm just kidding.
Well, I did sit with you. I did sit and I did read because I know that there's so many times when you want to bounce your ideas off of me or you want to
And you
say,
have no idea.
"Hey, how's it going?" And I have no idea. And I'm like, well, I might have been able to help you in the 5th grade with that, but right now I have to sit through the class with you in order to even begin to answer some of your questions. So I did sit through the class with you. We did read together. You read to me I attempted
Julius
to.
Schneezer, thank you for the 2,000 sparks. It's nice to see you in here again.
And then he always gives this lovely sign too. He always does.
Peace. Oh wait, this is not the right sign.
Oh,
wait, hold on.
I don't know.
I'm trying to do it so it isn't the.
He does. I love you. He does. I love
you.
I
think so. This is like the.
I don't know what that sign is. You got all of these little parts to this poor, pathetic.
And I need to get that part back because it's activated.
Uh-oh.
Thanks, same guys. Awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to get this iPhone to do something. I don't know.
So we sat through this class, and it is, of course, a class on American politics, and he begins, by making some suggestions about. It's an entry-level class, and we're just going to talk about the vocab so that we can get really familiar with how to discuss these things and be comfortable discussing them. And it's he was very, very explicit in saying it's a very intro-level class, right? The chapter itself was
not intro level.
Not well.
It was pretty intro.
It was intriguing. It was how we're going to approach the ideas and how. Politics are broken into 5, what did they call them? 5 processes.
Yeah, I
don't know. And how it,
how you come up with the ideas of the politicians do their crap.
Right, and I'm not going to move my my agenda forward if I don't have some kind of something in return. When I enter into politics, it's for a motive. There's institutions within politics that function, that make politics function. Politics are collective, and most people want to just sit on their butts and do nothing. So you've got to incite them in some way. But then he ended, and I thought, this is going to be really a scary time to be talking about politics
because you've got your stuff going on in the U.S.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just not a healthy climate, and a lot of what happened, and I'm not sure how much of what anybody really knows is happening, here worldwide, but it's become very
diverse
and very civil rights based, very very much about.
And I'm still confused
progressing
about
civil rights.
Yeah, I'm still confused about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm confused too. I'm angry, just like everybody else is angry at some of the actions that individuals take and how that affects everyone. But I'm also.
All right, let's see. I keep saying, as a big history fan, we are living through. Oh yeah, definitely. This is one of the most historical times.
But I'm scared.
Hi, I graduated from high school last Tuesday. Well, congratulations.
I tell you what.
That's awesome. But hold on. I'm scared of going to college, but I can't wait to go when it opens.
Yeah.
That's kind of the same thing with me also. Like, I don't know. I'm probably going to be like one of those people that are always stuck in the dorm, always trying to do the studying.
No, you've got to do this.
I'm too, I'm so concerned about my grades that it's just going to be a big, but then I'll get used to it.
But you're going to find that there's a culture of people that are exactly like you there, and you'll find that culture and you'll be fine. I'm going to tell you, I remember when I went, I was exactly the same way. I felt like, yay, finally, independence and adulthood. And when I got there, it was terrifying. And right before I left, I know, like the week before or the month, within that month
summer.
before, just the tail end of that summer, as summer was ending, and the realization of certain choices that you've made, and were they the right choices, and when I move forward, is this what I really want to do, and what am I am I wasting my time and my money and my efforts? And there were a lot of, you just had to trust that your gut told you what was right for you, and that you didn't have to know all of the answers. And then we thought about things like, hey, maybe we can break our leg and then we'll have to stay home. And, my best friend and I were like, we don't want to, because she was going to one side of the state and I was going to the other side of the state. And we just didn't know if that was going to work for us. And we were okay with it. When it finally came to pass, everything turned out to be dandy.
And the thing with me also is that it's like obviously that's gonna happen. Like
Yeah.
I've been working towards that.
I guess what I'm trying to say to AI, the pal, is you're perfectly
just learn
normal
as much as you can. So grateful for my experience in school. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you are perfectly normal. Those are perfectly normal
feelings.
Mm-hmm. That's how you're supposed to feel. And the closer it gets to saying, "Okay, college is here,"
I think that it's still a good experience because you get to really learn specifically about what you're passionate about, and you get to really get that going to do what you really want to do. Like I'm really excited about being able to learn about computer science, especially, and learn about the theories behind it, and I think that it'll be a really great experience overall.
I think that's what separates it from.
Oh, you're from California,
and
how's it? Are you near LA at all? Because I know that
Julius,
LA especially.
I tell you, Julius has the most profound things ever to say.
That's really good
exactly
advice.
It, Julius. That's exactly it. Yeah. I know that the big separator between high school, between what you have been doing and what you will be doing, is that in college everything is purposeful. In high school it's not. In high school it's, I got to do it because I got to graduate. I got to do it because they're the classes that I have to take. And you don't necessarily get to choose unless you went to a high school like MindTech did. MindTech got to go to a high school
where I got to choose tracks. Like mine.
And so
they don't have those anymore.
No,
of course they ruined it.
He did.
Freaking bureaucracy
for a while. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, you live in Sacramento. I've heard that Sacramento is a pretty good place.
I had an uncle that lived in California. He
San
lived in
Francisco or. Not saying that it's a bad place, but
it was 30 miles south of LA. Maybe it doesn't even start with an M anymore. I can't remember. He's been gone for quite some time now.
Like Long Beach or something.
No. It started with an M. It was a newish town. I can't remember.
I don't know towns.
It was
in
a newish
California.
town 20 years ago. So
but it's still crazy. Like I know a lot more about California than I do, let's say, Utah or something. Yeah. Alabama, like.
Well, yeah, I know.
I barely know the capital of a lot of states.
Because it's East Coast, you know. Mm-hmm. It's East Coast, and things happen there. Mm-hmm. And unless you're into skiing, you're not going to know anything about Nevada.
You have L.A., San Francisco. You've got yourself like Silicon Valley is a place. It's not a. And then, fun fact, like L.A. is a county and it's also a city. It's crazy.
Fun fact. New York, same way.
In Lake Tahoe, you can go in across the border to Nevada. I pronounce it Nevada, not Nevada. Those crazy people.
A brother in Utah.
So you can do different things.
That is the neat thing.
Awesome.
I think that is the neat thing about California is that you can drive one way and you're in the mountains and the snow, and you can drive another way and you're on the beach and the ocean, and you can drive another way and you're the redwood forest and grape country, wine country.
Yeah, what I like about California is the place itself, like the environment of it. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't want to live in California because of their government.
And it's expensive.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Anyway, so are you experiencing any of this chaos that's happening? I mean, is it like in your backyard? Are you
Oh, hey, you're from Wisconsin. That's pretty awesome. Here in Wisconsin, whenever you drive, you're in snow. Yeah, I can imagine that. I would like that for a little bit, and then I'd really start to hate that.
Yeah, I'm from Iowa, so I know the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I just know
Hashtag Black Lives Matter. They do.
Absolutely.
Like, absolutely. And I always like to add in the Black Lives Matter to that also. But I understand that, it has to be a movement, to specifically draw attention to that.
And anything else is beyond.
The end goal always has to be equal rights, honestly. Because I think a lot of the time, people get too caught up in the moment sometimes, and I'm not really going to go into it that much. I went to a big school and played basketball, and in football I got a scholarship.
Woohoo!
That's awesome.
To play for BYU?
Is it a question?
Brigham Young, huh?
Yes, and there is no other option.
Gotcha.
Well.
Yes. I'm going number 1.
I'm just
because I
gonna
don't
go
understand number 2, so I'm going number 1.
Let's see. Do you know George Floyd? I know about George Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty terrible what happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it shouldn't. Like, it's murder.
It's
like,
absolute insanity.
there's no contesting murder, which is it's terrible. But yeah, I could imagine going to a big high school because I'm from a small high school, really small class, like only like 100 and some odd peers in there. I think it'd just be really chaotic and stuff, so I don't know if I'd do well there.
I don't know. I taught in a fairly big school, and then I've taught in a tiniest of tiny schools, a K through 12 school.
Ah.
So.
Me and the gang in the corridor.
In the corridor.
Yeah, like I wouldn't like that aspect of it. I prefer just the academics, especially. How you doing,
Julius,
Jaced Killer? Welcome to the stream.
In a really tiny college, and I thought this is going to be the culture for me because I'm going to know a lot of people, and it's going to be a smallish kind of, in a small kind of town and a small kind of atmosphere. And I tell you, it took me about 3 months before I had to go to a university. Mm-hmm. So I'm with you on that. I went to a big college and I'm
always aiming for like the prestigious schools.
I went to the University of Northern Iowa. Julius would know that school, I hope. Maybe he'd say, what? No, I know Iowa State, and I know Iowa, the Hawkeyes and the Cyclones. What are you talking, Northern Iowa? Is that even a school? Yes, it is!
Oh, boy. Love that. Oh, he does know about it.
Yeah.
It is pretty awesome.
That's where I graduated.
You have
from a teacher's college.
A thing there.
I do. I have a hat, and then I have a cup.
Yeah, I'm not going to get it, though.
Panthers.
You do have your Panthers
and no,
stuff.
You were Michigan State. Okay, so you were a bigger school than me. Yes, I get you. And rivals. Iowa Hawkeyes and Michigan State were rivals.
Hey, Catbot, that's terrible. Let's see. Yeah, shame on you, Catbot. Yeah, that shouldn't have been removed. Thank you for that. I'm a teenager. I'm scared to go out. Me and my girlfriend.
Oh yeah. That's been.
What's going on?
Don't read.
What?
Why are we?
Come on, Catbot. Restore. There we go. Restore. That's terrible. God. Freaking auto moderators. Texas Longhorns all day. Yeah.
Texas Longhorns. That's right.
I don't know. Sure. Wait, are you?
No,
because I mentioned that I'm from Texas,
from California,
so
yeah,
and then you're from. Do you want to go to dang it, is that UT Austin?
BYU, Brigham Young. In Utah. Yeah, Brigham Young is in Utah. Brigham Young is.
But that's not Texas Longhorns.
No, it's not Texas Longhorns.
But where are you mentioning? Oh yeah, Texas A&M.
Yeah,
and
because
that's
we were talking college football.
And then the.
Yeah, we were talking college football.
I'm not
Michigan
about the college culture.
And I was talking.
I'm just about the education.
And even when I was there, I wasn't about the football at all. Even when I was there, I wasn't about the football or the basketball.
All I want to do is learn stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, you're Mormon?
Yeah, that's why he's going to Brigham Young. That's what I figured, at least. That's what I figured. Not that you have to be Mormon to go to Brigham Young, I don't think. Do you?
I don't know. But that's pretty cool. I know that I'm not Mormon. We don't have any Mormons in the family, right?
No.
But I've just heard that they're the nicest people, so I assume that you're a really nice person also.
Okay, so Julius wasn't a big football fan until he went to Michigan State, and then at Michigan State you kind of have to be a football fan. I know I went to the games. I mean, that was just the way that it was, but University of Northern Iowa is not a big... it's not a big football school. You've got Iowa State, and you've got the Cyclones, and you've got the Hawkeyes, and those were the big. And I know I had friends who went to both of those schools. In fact, I took classes at both of those schools then after I'd graduated. And yes, I did have to go attend a couple of football games I did have to go watch.
You had to?
I had to watch the Hawkeyes.
Where it was like, oh, I gotta do it.
You've got a Hawkeyes. They gave you little Hawkeyes jumpers when you were a baby. we got them all from Iowa, and I was like, why am I putting the Iowa Hawkeyes on you? Why?
Let's see
not
here.
My school.
Some dude on Xbox said, why go to college next year if it's online? Well, you'd still be going to college, technically, but it would be an online class. So
Right.
if I want to go to UT Austin, I'm still taking classes with UT Austin professors, but it's from my home, which would actually be pretty cool. From my perspective right now, like, you wouldn't have to leave, you wouldn't have to do any of that. It would be cheaper.
My biggest worry, though, would be that college professors who don't really talk to other college professors, they think that it's their class, and my class starts at 10, and you're going to take so many classes, and I'm going to schedule you so that you're fitting your 14 hours or 16 hours or 18 hours a semester into, you know, delineated slots, and then you're going to be able to keep up with everything. And college is hard anyway. I mean, college really does, in some cases, pile on a lot. And my biggest worry would be that if you're taking an online, the same as you would be taking on campus, that professors wouldn't necessarily recognize that your time has to be separated into, you know, like they would say, well, I'm going to give
I
you
think that it would have
2
to
class
change.
days and two days that you could work on assignments, and every professor is going to do that. So you're taking 60. Yeah, it's going to have to change.
They'd have to really talk to each other. Let's see. Especially now that I'm not there, miss my old college days, and as an old man. Yeah, I think that there would be still some fun that you'd have. Like, it would detract from the overall experience, I'm pretty sure. And I think that that's still something important.
Yeah, there were things in college that I just I
don't know. It's fun.
Miss. I do not miss parking in what we called Siberia and needing to walk to the dorms when you went home, and then needing to walk all the way to the dorms, which was like, what, 3 miles in. Ugh, golly.
I don't know about Siberia. Hashtag MindTech for president. I'd be a terrible president, wouldn't I? Like, I'm not a politician.
You're not a politician.
I'm too honest for the job.
Right.
Like,
you're not a politician, but you're very open-minded, and you.
I like the debate of it, but
really,
I wouldn't be voted in to be president. I know that.
I think that what's really good about it is that, and especially about this class, is that it talks about evidence. You know, let's discover what the evidence actually is, so that we can, through a calculated and, you know, overwhelmingly, let's find the evidence. So.
But you have to be pushy. You have to. Let's see. It's fun because if I travel, I still meet random people from my university. Hey, that is fun, and then you get to have stories about your university. Be like, back in my day.
Your dad went to such a large high school that he can travel and find people from his high school. Like down here, he was listening to the radio, and it was like, oh my gosh, they're having a reunion for my high school right here, you know, 2,000 miles away. There were enough people in the valley in a completely different state in order for them to have a reunion. I thought that was just wild. But
Mr. Live, I feel bad for you. But if you have a chance, go to senior prom. Yeah, I know that for the class of 2020, and it's just pretty terrible that you guys don't have that experience, because I know that that's also a big part of the graduating experience. It's just, I know that you have something in space though for you, so that's pretty cool.
AI the Pell, do they have a Greek society at Brigham Young?
You going to Rush Geek?
Greek.
Oh, Greek.
Geek. You are such a geek.
No, I read geek because I kind of assume that if people come in here, they'd be like, oh my god, holy nerd. That's what one person commented.
Yeah.
Geek mind tech. I'm not a geek though, I'm a nerd.
Yeah, you're a nerd. More than you are a geek.
I'm not a geek, like, flat out, because geeks are into, like, stories,
sci-fi,
and anime and stuff like that, and I'm not big into that. I'm big into the real world. Come on, geeks. You're a programming nerd. Yeah, and I wish that I like, I'm into programming, but I don't like program a lot because I feel like I need to learn a lot more before I can call myself a programmer. All I really know is like basic console.
AI,
C#
our prom was canceled this year because of the coronavirus. Was yours?
I'm assuming yes, but we'll have to
What about
wait.
your graduation? Was your graduation canceled
Because
too?
we're still having some sort of graduation for the seniors, but it's not what it was going to be. Like, I always loved going to graduation, and I'm really sad that I can't do that in person now. And they might still do some sort of in-person thing, but I more than likely won't go because I'm a shut-in now. And actually, let's go on to something real, just really quickly, just a little tangent. This is the time to quarantine yourselves. I have had a bad memory of my last prom. Last year, my girlfriend dumped me. Oh. Well, that's terrible. I'd hate to be dumped at a prom. Yeah, I don't think that it's the... I think that it's still important, but I'm not sure if it's like the do-all and the be-all of the high school experience.
Yeah. I agree. I know that it's part of the experience, though. It's not the do-all and it's not the be-all, but it's part of the experience. I know some people make it, into something so much bigger, I think, than what it is, but...
Let's see, I'm heading out now. I'll see you later. Alright, we'll see you later, Joe.
Yeah, I know, Joe, I'm getting kind of hungry, too. I know it gets to this point where it's like, well, it might be time for supper, so I wonder if it's time for
But I always tried to go for an hour, and since we had all those problems earlier, we would be at an hour already, but we're not going to be at an hour, so I'm angry.
You're angry. Well, how long would it take to be at an hour? Well, what do you love about this class then? Tell me about that. What is it about this new college class that you love?
I don't know if I love it or not because I haven't. It's the first day.
Yes, you did some reading and you listened to a lecture.
You need to get out of your shell. I'd recommend joining a fraternity or clubs. I've heard bad things about fraternities.
But
clubs are great, but yeah, fraternities.
Not all fraternities are horrible.
I don't think I'm gonna be a frat boy at all, or whatever they call them.
Well, that's
not that type.
And I know that it's for...
I'm literally not going to be able to have a drink until I think my junior year of college. So I'm not going to be part of that again. I wouldn't even be originally, but I'm definitely not going to be a part of that experience also. All those stereotypes that really surround fraternities or whatever. But it's still good advice, I think.
Yeah, I think it's like excellent advice.
Breaking out.
That's absolutely what you need to do because... there's a culture that you need to
clubs.
To find. Yeah, you need to find where you fit. So.
All right, adios, Joe.
Bye, Joe. So what was it though about the content of the class that you think you're gonna like or you think you're gonna hate?
I think that it's gonna be good to be able to speak that language and be able to understand the essence of politics and the essence of our government on a more detailed scale. Because right now we understand kind of what drives politicians, but we don't necessarily understand exactly how and why. So I think that being able to really do a study into that will enlighten at least
maybe people will just say, well, that's politics for you, but you'll be able to say, well,
here's what it is technically. Kind of like talking about computers. Like, oh, thank you for the host phase, Rich John. That's awesome. Thank you. But right now it's more like, oh yeah, all politicians are blah blah blah.
I'm glad you turned the volume down because that little zombie guy always scares me.
Or, oh, this is just what happens. This is just how the government works. But now I'm going to be able to say, well, really, this is specifically why they do this. Kind of like what I was going to go on the computer analogy. Most people can just say, oh, I guess that's just what happens. That's just how Word works or whatever. But I'm like, no, I want to know specifically how the operating system works, how data is shared, how data is destroyed, things like that. Really, how they specifically work. Fraternity creates instant social network for school and beyond. Don't discount it.
Not just social, but just a network. It's how you network. Yeah, it's kind of like I know that when you were searching for colleges, one of the things that was mentioned was that there are certain colleges that just have a culture that's built in, and if you graduate from let's just say the college that I know I read about in our state was Texas A&M. If you graduate from Texas A&M, it you can show that on your resume, and if the person that you are interviewing with is also a graduate, it's just kind of a, oh well, hey, let's there you go, you're my candidate. If you graduated from there, you're my candidate. So
any luck, and any luck.
Good luck.
He said, anyway, good luck and I've spoken too much because I was reading that book aloud.
Yeah, after reading the book aloud, I'm sorry, but I would not have been able to discuss anything with you had you not.
Yes, I think that that's a good idea.
But
I always get so concerned.
I think that what is going to help you specifically is that you've already done college. You've done college at the end of your summer, or during your summer last year, and then during your summer this year. You were able to already experience
I'm going to be like, I'm ahead of you all.
Well, yeah, and
then I'm also an IB student,
early.
which is worse.
Right.
Excuse me, it's worse than college. But it's like the hardest thing.
Right, but in your brain,
academic person can ever put themselves through. It's crazy.
And I think in your brain, you've already really, kind of hedged in on what certain professors are expecting. You will already have had that, some inundation to it. So
let's see. Julia said, "I work in sales, and when I see an alumni at a company, I know I have an in." Yeah, you're right. That's another big part.
Better. He's like, "Hello, ma'am," because he can now see all of these wrinkles. Thanks for that.
How are you doing? He also called me a sir. I'm doing very well, sir. I'm doing very well. I got my new TV yesterday.
Woo-hoo!
And now
I
remember
it was
better.
like a crystal something.
The crystal 4K
like
UHD OLED.
An amazing TV.
That's pretty awesome. Like, I know that the problem with 4K is that it doesn't really. A lot of the programming is still only in 1080p or below. But when you have that upscaling, that's really where you get to see the benefits, because it can take low res content and really deliver a lot more. And that's also why you might want to record in a higher resolution and downscale that into something like 1080p, because even on these lower end panels, there's still more pixels there, so you still get a lot more detail even if you're not expanding it into the full resolution.
And most people can't necessarily, right? I know, because when even the flat panel televisions were coming out, a long time ago, when they were just getting to be new and interesting and hot, and that whole, like the aspect of 3D televisions and those sorts of things. I know a lot of it was, well, what kind of content can you have? Is there any real content there? So I know that was what was, I think, intriguing and interesting. But anyway, I think I am going to go get some supper started. Did you want to play
Can you last
GTA?
14 more minutes?
14 more minutes? What is the subject going to be?
I always like to get to an hour, and I haven't talked about how I'm a failure yet.
Oh, Lord. You want to talk about how you're a failure?
Because I said, I'm going to do this YouTube schedule. And of course it imploded.
Okay.
Of course. I still need to edit the video. I don't like the video. Well, it's an okay video, but something's not clicking.
So, is the correct word then failure?
Yes, because I set myself to do this and I failed. And I'm very disappointed in myself, and I want to get better. I honestly do.
So, what was it then that caused your schedule to stop being what it was? And you couldn't
actually
keep up with it. What happened?
The riots and everything kind of turned me off, I guess. I just wanted to get off of my computer for a while, and then the video recorded at too long of length, and it overwhelmed me trying to put in all the B-roll shots. So I don't know, I was annoyed by myself. Best advice I have for college is don't be afraid to intern and get the real world work experience.
I tell you, if I would have had money, I would have done a semester somewhere, like a semester abroad, if I would have had the money. I know that when I first started, I went to a tiny and older college, and I'm sitting in the lounge and I'm watching not the Super Bowl. I'm watching the World Series, and I'm thinking to myself, Man, I'd really love to do a semester. I think that there must have been pamphlets or something. I don't know why I'm having this remembering, this recall, this remembering.
I'm having a remembering. Hold on.
I'm having a remembering. I don't know why I'm recalling this, but I do. There must have been like a pamphlet or something. And I remember there was like, I had just gotten off the phone with my dad because he's watching the World Series. And maybe there was a pamphlet inside, because they had like this oldish timey phone booth thing that closed, and you had your, I don't know, that was like predating cell phones, guys. It's pretty old, isn't it?
This is only like 2010, right?
Yeah, that's pretty old. But I know that I thought, wow, if I could just afford to go to like Europe and just do a year
I wouldn't want to do that. There's no reason. Like, I could imagine myself interning, like being that person at Microsoft, like, ooh, I'll do the code for you, and then I'll try and destroy you through a misconduct scandal. That intern at Microsoft. That'd be me.
That wouldn't be you, but that would have nothing to do with you. But I do think that I could see you interning. But I don't know. I mean, just that thought of going somewhere to experience what it's like somewhere else. I mean, you can read about it, you can talk about it on a platform like this, but you don't really know what the connection is until you've experienced it. And that's something that I just didn't get to do.
It's not like it's a place that I'd ever really go to, though. Like, I'm not a European person. I'm going to be an American for the rest of my freaking life. Unless... Okay, go on.
I understand that, but it's just a matter of, you know, experiencing it, of having the experience, and having done it.
I did 5 internships, and most were not so glamorous, but wow, did I learn.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, my phone is stupid. It has a messed up clock. It thinks it's 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it's waking you up?
Yep. So
that's the only nice thing about the coronavirus, was that we didn't have to get up dead early in the morning.
But it's fricked up my sleep schedule. I'm literally more awake at 2 in the morning than I am right now.
Well, that's not because of corona.
No, it is.
I don't think so. You just went into a summer schedule. I know that was, as a teacher, that was one of the worst things about corona, was that kids had parents that were off, you know, being amply employed somewhere, and so they didn't have to necessarily get up, and they were on a summer schedule, but we weren't. We were on a school schedule, and I wish that they, in that respect, would have said, from 8:30 until 9:15, you are in your 1B class, and from.
But no one would have liked that, though, would they?
No, they would have hated it, and nobody would have been there to make sure that they would have been up and ready and rearing to go. But it would have kept us consistent, I think.
Because the issue that I ran into was, oh well, I'll just, you know, write this 16-page paper. It's not 16. It's like 10 pages. I'll write this 10-page paper, you know, night before it's due.
No, you did not. Well, yeah, you did, but it wasn't a 10-page paper, was it?
No, it's like, I don't know.
More like a 5, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, you waited until the day it was due, which is, I hated that. I thought that was just wicked nasty. But you got it done. I mean, you just did it.
And I did it well, didn't I?
And you did it
well.
well.
I work well under pressure.
Yeah. Well, no.
Yes, I
do.
You
want to tell yourself that you work well under pressure.
No, I do work well under pressure.
No, you don't.
I don't.
Well, you got pressure that forces you forward, but I think that if you were to give yourself time to reflect on something, as opposed to, it's done, I got to turn it in. You know, I don't have any time to reflect on it. I don't have any time to go back and look at it. It's just done, and I've got to turn it in because I haven't given myself any more time than this. I think that that's a better plan, always.
Yeah, yes, but I don't know.
I don't know either. But I know that I never did any internships. I don't know if I would have had any time to do any internships. I did my experience, but that was part of what I had to do. That was just part of, you know, after so many years of learning about it, then you had to have some practicum. You had to have a practical experience. That's what I hate, that your school, now that it's become an IB school, doesn't give you any practical experience.
IB.
And then the other thing that I really want to do, since they've started these new, we always had like a new scholar academy.
And I worked, like, I made a lot of money doing that.
Right. And this year
it's no longer.
they decided, well, this year it's virtual, I think, but they decided that instead of that, they were gonna have like 3 or 4 different camps that would highlight.
But it's not like I get to work at those camps.
No,
like I'd like a freaking summer job again. Come on.
It's a possibility that they would have. I don't know. There's just, we do certain things that I thought were IB, but apparently they're not pre-IB or IB, but they're more like innovative electives. I don't know, like social media marketing as opposed to a business class, like a regular accounting class.
Just
and then
stupid, dumb, fake classes
criminal
that no one wants.
And no, these are classes that everybody is like, oh, eager to take, but
well,
like
I've argued
science and things like that.
I don't want to get into the argument again.
We don't have
I've
to.
argued
What I'm saying
so
is
much
that the camps
about
then are
school.
really focused on those things, like let's do problem solving camp where you might find like CSI sort of information and be able to solve this crime, and then let's have another camp where it's all about mock trial and learning how to do the mock trial, and then another camp about social media marketing. And so they're very specific camps. I want to do an arts camp.
Why not?
I want to do.
But they're not gonna.
Jazz hands.
They're not gonna allow you to do that.
Probably
though,
not.
They?
No,
and they're
not.
definitely not gonna pay you to do it.
But if they're promoting all of these other electives, and my elective is starting to suffer because nobody wants to take it anymore, then I think maybe I need a camp. Maybe I need a summer camp.
Well, alright guys, before we end, I'd just like to mention again, this stream is sponsored by Stories Light, so make sure to check it out. Hopefully I'll have some link down below or whatever. It's a great platform featuring the new content creators, not the old. Not the micro influencers, so make sure to check it out. It's an awesome website again. So guys, thank you for watching this stream.
It's been lovely.
Yes. Any last remarks?
Julia Sneezer, thank you for your absolutely profound advice, as always.
Thank you so much.
And
thank you everyone else.
Thank you so
much. It was a good stream. We had a lot of chatters.
Yeah, I think that
color frickin' carbon. You're a lurky Lou. You're a lurky Lou. Well, thank you for lurking. So
absolutely.
I hope that we
think
entertained you.
We need to make sure that you're expanding your boundaries and getting yourself out there and not being afraid of something new just because it's new, and you just got to get out there and do it. And I appreciate that.
All right.
Are we done?
Yep. All right. Thank you. Well, we'll catch you later on Thursday. Our next scheduled
updates
stream.
on this politics class.
All right. Bye bye.
We'll see y'all later.